So I'm sitting here reflecting on bad neighbors of old. Um, I remember where this game was going on Facebook, and you put your number or of your birth year up, and that person have to respond just with your birth year and something about you, something that they remember or whatever. And I did it with this girl who was again one of the neighbors or whatever who was in the household of the bad neighbors. And basically, I was cooler with her anyway the whole time. Um, she was just more mature minded and stuff like that. Even though she was like my younger sister's age, or she was like 2 years older than her. I don't know, something like that. She was in the middle of us. She wasn't quite my age. Um, so I just kind of took a liking more to her or whatever. And I did the game or whatever, and I just do not recall what I said, but I know it wasn't that pleasant to the ear or whatever. I was like, it was just too many issues and stuff. And then she put up there, and it was a very mature response. She was like, some good memories, some bad memories. And I'm just like, honey, don't be fake. Like, it wasn't with me or about me because I didn't do nothing to y'all. It was, your so called people was, I didn't go into detail, but your people was doing way too much. Your mom, and then she did that through your sister and stuff like that. And so I don't know why I'm thinking about it, but I guess because that picture that depicts a mom standing behind her child and her tongue like goes through the back of their neck and comes out of their mouth, and so it was just a lot of that. Um, but she was the cooler one as far as I was concerned, and just more level headed and stuff like that, and that was a very mature response to me. Um, because I know people don't want to be disloyal to their people or whatever, but I just go for what's right and what's wrong. If my so-called people is right in a certain moment, they right. If they wrong, they wrong. But we was pretty much living right and trying to live right. They was doing some other stuff, and I don't know all the details. I'm sure it had to do with money, but it was a lot of type competition type stuff that didn't have to be. Um, and that's what I remember. But I like the girl's response or whatever. Um, like I said, she was cool. But just them memories that, and then this took me back to when one time. So we had moved over there to the neighborhood. I was thinking about riding bikes because I was trying to get my son to ride a bike and stuff like that today. But we used to ride our bikes all the time and stuff like that when we was in the apartment complex. So when we moved to a housing complex, housing like a community, I was still riding my bike around the neighborhood and stuff like that. I didn't think that we had to tone it down or anything like that. We was children. We didn't get told to tone it down. We just was. Is the bike not working?
It doesn't work a lot, but if I tried hard enough, it could work.
Okay, and this time don't park it over there by the. Well, let me see. Where do I want you to park it at? Park it over there where Zephaniah's bike is covered up, even though that one, if you can cover that one up too. So anyway, um,
Okay.
my stuff is going dead. Let me. I feel like they about to come back here, come in here or something like that. I'm all over the place, and yes, I got y'all looking up at the ceiling as I walk through the hallway and stuff like that. It's all good though. But anyway, I just remember the time when, yeah, I was going to ride bikes and stuff like that, and or walk around the neighborhood too. We had got out of church or whatever, and I did have on all black, but at the same time, at that time I just was like, I got on all black, and it goes with my shoes that I had, and walked around the neighborhood like I usually do. I just used to like to walk, get some fresh air, think, whatever, and I was walked around the whole time, nobody, no problem, no nothing. Got back to the right at the house, and this same household, they had family members or blood or relatives or whatever over. And I look back and I know that the one who was trying to speak through them, it wasn't her bloodline relative. she was married into the family. It was her husband's um, bloodline relatives, but she tried to get them to. Well, you know what? One of them might have been her. Um, her. I don't know. But anyway, they was all mixed. But this particular one is her husband's like direct bloodline member, and she tried to speak through her and let that have that girl like run up on me and stuff like that. And thank God didn't let it happen. The girl, I guess, was trying to run out the house. Like I've had stuff like this just when I just be chilling and just to myself and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? I didn't necessarily ask to be by myself, but I was just chilling out. I'm a to myself type of person. And so, and then I hear her in there telling her younger child, the youngest child, I mean, this child, gosh, I was in middle school then, so this child was still in elementary school, and she's telling her, uh, if not, if I wasn't in high school, shoot. Um, she was telling her, fight me, don't fight my cousin. And I heard her. And I'm telling you, she's that exact picture of that. And I just, that stuff still tries to traumatize me that somebody's mom could egg them on to do that. It's one thing I heard my so called mom saying stuff about people, and I took it upon myself to say it back because I repeated it because I heard it. But it's when you telling your child, to do this and you know what I'm saying, towards somebody else because you're feeling a type of way. And she just did a whole bunch of stuff. She brought people to my job and stuff like that. It was just crazy. She was just beyond. It was. I've ran into people like that all throughout my life. I don't know why. I don't know. Why that's the. I got that quote unquote luck of the draw. But anyway, so the girl's about to run out. So then I go. That somebody held her back or whatever, and which it was a male in the house, and that was a good thing. Like, don't. Why would you do that? Why? Why would you, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, he held her back and, was just trying to intimidate me and put fear in me and stuff like that. I'm walking in the neighborhood that I reside in. Whether or not I'm supposed to be there or not, I don't know because I didn't choose to move over here. This is where my so-called parents found a place to stay. So, um, I go in the house and I'm like, letting my so-called mom know, this is what's going on. And she snaps at me, well, you shouldn't have been walking around the block like a little whore or slut or something like that. I don't know. It was just crazy. And I'm telling you, it was little stuff like that that I heard and I remember, but it didn't register with me. I just, she's the parent, so that's what she's saying. I hear her. And I mean, I knew something wasn't right then, but yeah, saying that or whatever, saying little stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, this is the neighborhood y'all moved us to. We just got back from church, so how am I being a whore or a slut just because I'm walking around the neighborhood that I usually walk around or play in, just because I maybe want some air or whatever the case may be. I was just used to doing it, and so let me see what my son should do. So yeah, I was used to doing that, and that's the kind of response I got. And that's why I'm like, wait, what? How did she come up with that? And so it was just that's another incident where I just didn't feel protected. I felt like, oh, you getting ready to get blamed because of what somebody else doing to you, and it's either to cover something else up from before. She's always, had some kind of issues or whatever. She discussed what was going on with. I remember her talking about it to my so-called granddad, her dad, and I heard little stuff, but but yeah, she didn't ever sit down and tell me, but she would. Then got older and I add the lady on Facebook and my so-called mom, she was like, take her off. You don't need to have her on there. This, then, the third. And I came to I was grown, so and I was forgiving, so I'm like, not really giving her a chance. But that's when I was active on Facebook anyway, and just didn't care. And I eventually took her off and I blocked her and stuff like that or whatever. But I just was I didn't understand. So it's like, why don't you go into details for why I need to take her off and this, that, and the third? But she never did tell me that. And again, it's just a bunch of stuff that's been withheld type of information. And I just, I think you just want it to go away. You don't want, but to me, you tell your children, your offspring and stuff like that to prepare them. But, it was a lot of stuff that was put on me that I feel like shouldn't have been put on me because of, again, what my parents did, either my last name I carry and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay. So, anywho, that was just another incident that I didn't feel protected. And of course, when I was pregnant, and I was made to get the abortion, didn't feel protected, and then the other time when I like kind of ran away overnight or whatever, and I did go stay with the dude who I considered my boyfriend, and honestly, I had lost my virginity to him. But that night, I didn't do nothing with him because I was going through something with at home, and so I just left just to get out. And I didn't do nothing with him. And she was like, go back and screw who you're screwing. And I'm not your mama and stuff like that. And I'm like, so, again, I just replay these things over. But overall, she took care of me. She made sure I was fed, clothed, went to school. She was even actively involved somewhat in my schooling. Of course, we went on trips, things like that. I felt like I was cared for overall, but it's still those things, they still took like some major hits on me. And it's like, I don't know if they just eye openers, something to wake me up or what, but I just don't understand it to this day. I continue to submit it to God if He wants me to have understanding and full understanding regarding that. But that's something that kind of makes me like, it stands out and makes me like, I'm going to sour away from my so-called mom. I don't, I love her and I can love her at a distance, but I just, and I mean, I just adored my mom at one point in time. Like, seriously, like, she couldn't do no, I'm not going to say she couldn't do no wrong in my eyes, but barely. And, she definitely was just this person that I always seen as a good person. Um, didn't see her mistreating people. I remember her telling us, avoid people that's starting stuff with you, just ignore them and this, that, and the third. And, of course, granted, maybe she might not have known what to do, or how to respond to stuff or whatever. And maybe she did, but, that's just something that's just like, I just rather build and have that relationship with my daughter. And as much as I do love my so-called mom and am grateful for, her taking care of me and stuff like that, I can't get with that because whether you're not being real with yourself, but you're not being real with me about something, and I can't do it, and I don't want to do that with you. So, and with me, I was open and honest with my kids. Do I feel like I owed them every little move I make? Absolutely not. But they, for the most part, I'm here with them, so they knew what was going on. Um, and I feel the type of way as far as my daughter, like, kind of shying away a little bit from me, or not shying away. I don't, honey, just being adamant about whatever she being adamant about, covering her dad or whatever. And what I'm saying, that's a bold move, a bold statement, and I'll respect you. What I'm saying, for who you are, but and the decision that you feel like you got to make. But I'm still not with that as far as her as the younger person trying to cover for her dad or cover her dad or whatever the case may be, because I don't feel like she owes him that. Um, and even though it was shown to me in a dream, I just still feel like, girl, you need to be careful with that. But anyway, and okay, so still haven't heard back from her. That was Friday, and it's now Monday, and haven't heard back from her. I'm not really concerned or worried or whatever. I'm just staying prayed up. I'm staying in contact with God, because that's who knows her location, who knows what's going on, and hopefully I'll hear from her on a consistent basis. But you know, I don't know. She got other things going on or whatever. Now my boys are back in. Y'all can lock that screen door, close the other door a little bit, and turn the walkie talkies off and stuff. I'm in my room doing a video, so yeah, I'll turn that stuff off and put them in the drawer. Did you bring your hoverboard in?
I'm about to.
Oh, okay. So anyway, this thing about to go dead anyway. Anyway, like I said, I just be wanting to tell my story, or my side or my perspective of it or whatever. Again, just bad neighbors, honey. And I'm just, even today, I was just praying when my boys went outside. I'm like, you know what? This would be one of them days where if they say something, I'm just going to tell my boys, come on in, ignore it. Because I've addressed it as much as I possibly can as a woman, as a female, as the mother of this house. And it's like, I'm not finna do this. I'm not gonna engage in drama. For one, y'all too old to be acting like that as far as I'm concerned. I'm about maturity and, what I'm saying, not acting a damn fool. It's fine to be comfortable, but I don't think you bully people and try people on the levels that they be trying them on to in order to be comfortable with yourself. See, I just don't. I'm a person that just doesn't like stuff like that. And again, I don't know why that's been attracted to my life, or I can move to a spot where, oh, I'm gonna have neighbors like this. I'm almost like, why can't I have neighbors like I got other neighbors in the neighborhood that are different, and they don't be into all that drama stuff. But it's me. I got to be the one surrounded the drama neighbors. I got them to the front, across the street, and to the right, and now to the right. Because from the ones at the right wasn't showing that at first, exhibiting that at first. But so yeah, it's like what? And then of course the situation in the childhood in which I had a dream about that old household earlier this week. The people in there that was troublesome didn't wasn't in the dream, but you know, that neighborhood came back, and you know, even with that situation, I don't know if somebody else was egging her on or whatever, or why they felt like to come at me. Don't know, don't understand. Of course, when I was a baby, I don't remember all that stuff. I don't remember conversations that was had and none of that. I can remember almost till I'm like 3 years old. I remember being in a certain housing projects, and you know, and I even then I remember good memories. I felt like I was taken care of, and just not really neglected. I'm sure I was neglected some, but I'm not really highly neglected, and that was that. But I really don't have early memories regarding my so-called mom. I don't know where she was at when I was living, and I just knew that I had a mom, but I don't know where she was at when I was living at this particular place that I had a dream about earlier this week. I don't know where she was at. Sometimes she probably was there. Other times I don't know. I don't know if she was working. I don't know. Could have been just putting me off on my so-called grandma and somewhere laid up. I don't know. I know she was a teenager, so I know she was 17 when she had me. So hey, I can understand, honey. You just, you don't want to put your life on hold for a child, especially if a so-called male goes off. He turned 18. He went off and he pretty much got married that same year, 18 or whatever. So the year after I was born, and if he wasn't not 16, was he? Hold on, no, because he's older than her. I don't know. He was already 17 or 8, or he might have already been 18 or whatever. I don't know. But I can understand it because, of course, I'm going through the cycle where, man got me pregnant, and then they off somewhere else. But it's things that I just really don't know. And then I try not to complain because there's things that God has protected me from, even though I've experienced some of those things. God has protected me from and didn't let me be exposed to, and I'm thankful, even in the age that I'm at. But I'm just like, Lord, I want to know the truth of the matter, if it's going to be affecting me like that. But, or trying to show up and manifest in my life over and over and over. It's always these bad neighbors. But then some stuff just, I had to look at, it started in the household, some type of way, But maybe somebody else on the outside seen that on me, and I don't know. And I don't feel like it's fair because I'm like, if my so-called parents didn't tell me or teach me that, then how else was I going to learn it? Or how was I going to know it? And now I'm just coming into asking God to reveal on a need-to-know basis. I wasn't doing that before. I didn't know how, but anyway, so yeah, that part or whatever just reminded of, and even the girl or whatever, like I said, she had I hate that she got the initials BS at the time, but now I think her initials are changed or whatever. But I don't know. It was a lot, man. It was a whole lot that I just didn't understand, and I'm still trying to understand. And that's it for this video. That's all I want to say right now. But yeah.